Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mind Muscle Connection podcast. Today is a solo episode, and I have a topic that I'm looking forward to diving into with you guys. But first, before I do that, just want to go over my free body recomp checklist. So it's 10 things that you need for body recomp. Also, I go over the two types of body recomp, why focusing on your body composition is important. And so you'll have everything you need to know about really driving body composition change and focusing on recomp versus just scale weight. If you're interested in that, go check that out. The link to that is in the show notes. So what I want to chat with you guys about today is troubleshooting stubborn fat loss. Again, I think we know, hey, we need to create an energy deficit to lose body fat, right? And a lot of people, hey, move more, eat less. Again, generally good advice, but what if you are someone who's lifting 3 days a week? You're tracking calories, right? You're tracking your calories and macros, and you're still struggling to do that. Maybe you're hitting your steps, or maybe you're not. Who knows? And you're 30 plus, right? So if that's happening, I think a lot of times the thing is, hey, you just need to find ways to eat less calories, or you just need to drop your calories. And that's what people will typically do in that, right? They'll drop calories and then they'll just ramp up training a ton, do a bunch of more HIIT training that's going to burn a lot of more calories. And again, that may have worked in your 20s, but it's definitely not going to work now. And so what we can do here is we can quote unquote restart your progress when you optimize how your body utilizes energy. I find that for people that really do struggle with fat loss and it's stubborn, yes, it's a skill thing, right? And we're going to talk about some of this. It's a skill adherence thing, but what if that isn't necessarily the issue, right? What are some things that we can do to not only work through these plateaus, but then also help you ensure that you continue to lose body fat moving forward, right? So again, this is with the understanding that you already lift weights. You already do that. You do some form of tracking your food intake there, right? So again, you're working hard, but it's just like things are not changing like they did. And again, real quick, before I kind of dive into these things, first we need to understand energy balance is going to rule all, okay? We can't just eat 5,000 calories and then do these things and be like, Jeff said, hey, this is going to help me lose, I don't have to drop calories and this can help me troubleshoot. That's not the case. We still need to get into an energy deficit. But by doing these things, it could make your energy deficit more effective versus feeling like you're going uphill with everything. But again, energy balance is still going to be the deciding factor here, meaning we need to get into an energy deficit to drop body fat. First, we need to check adherence. Okay. I know that somebody's listening to this, or maybe you're tuning out now and you're like, oh, great, here we go. But look, if you're just winging your logging, like you're just like randomly putting things in, you're just half-assedly putting them in. I don't even know if that's a word, but you're just doing whatever there. You're not really like focused on it. You're not logging your food. You're just putting things in without really seeing, hey, how much am I eating? Maybe you're only logging 5 to 6 days a week. I see this a lot with clients where they're stuck with fat loss, but it's like, hey, you're tracking 4, 5, 6 days a week, but you have every single weekend a day where you're not tracking. What are you doing on those days? Because that could really impact things. That could be the difference between you, one, not seeing any weight loss, or just really slowing it down on the ton. Or maybe you're just eating most meals out, right? Because again, we know that it's likely going to be tough to eating the right amount of calories in there. Again, this is if you're not seeing results that you want to see. You've probably found the problem. We need to dial that in. You can still do some of these things, but that needs to still be number one, because if we're not doing these things, you're still gonna continue to run into these issues. And the reason I bring this up is because the leaner you get, and when you're in a deficit in general, just how our brain is wired anyways, it's easy for you to subconsciously consume more calories than what you think. It's easy to subconsciously eat off plan. So that's why I'm saying we need to look at this, because it is just your brain does wonky things when it's in a deficit, or again, just in general, right? Like it's wired to want to have super tasty foods. And if we're in a deficit or we're leaner, like it's going to make those issues worse. So we have to get that dialed in first, and we have to look at that. We have to understand what is going on there. More so is just a subconscious thing that we're looking at. But let's say again, those things are pretty well, or again, they're pretty well, and fat loss is still super stubborn. That's the first thing. Or again, maybe you can also improve adherence a little bit and then add these things on top of it. And it's almost going to be like rocket fuel to your deficit. And again, if you are seeing results, again, this is going to be like rocket fuel to it. So first thing that we can do here to troubleshoot stubborn fat loss is adding in more cardio / conditioning, right? So if you're lifting 3 to 4 plus days and doing like mostly boot camp style classes, but you're not doing any sort of structured cardio, look at adding in 1 to 2 sessions of that per week, right? This is going to help your body. One, you're going to consume more calories. It's going to help with body composition, and it can help your body use fat as fuel much better as well too, right? Again, not necessarily fat loss, but using fat as fuel, right? So example, 20 to 40 minutes at a tough but sustainable pace. So like a medium intensity cardio session, again, where it's tough, but it's sustainable as well too, right? Like what you don't want to see is you don't want to go and do like a run where it's like you go all out for 5 minutes and then you're so tired that you can't keep up that output. Again, if you're on the bike, like you go so hard and then like you look and your speed was at 16, now it's at 13. It's okay. We probably went too hard. We need to find a more sustainable pace, but a challenging pace. And again, we want to focus on our output and performance in this in these cardio sessions, not just how many calories you're burning. We're not trying to go and run a marathon as quickly as possible or burn the most calories. We're trying to get an output, and we're trying to improve our cardiovascular fitness, our VO2 max. And we need to do that by actually progressing our cardio, not just trying to go and burn more calories. So again, we want to focus on our performance and our output in these sessions there. We want to, when we add these things in, we want to watch our resting heart rate. We want to watch if you have a good way of tracking it, your HRV, your subjective recovery. How are you recovering? How do you feel from day to day? And your training performance. Again, if that's decreasing, there's likely some under recovery going on somewhere. So obviously, if we add these things in, we need to see, hey, what can we take out? What do we need to do? Do we need to do something to improve your recovery so you have a little bit more to do, or you have more ability to do more essentially on there? So potentially adding in some cardio could be super helpful for this. But again, we can't just add it in and we have to see how we're recovering, because again, there is going to be a cost to adding in more training. A next level tip. So that's my main thing, is I want you to do this, but a next level tip is going to be one of those sessions you could do fasted, right? And this could help, right? But again, this is only if your stress load is managed overall, right? So again, if we look and it's, okay, this person has a lot of stress on their body, adding in a fasted session may not be the thing for you, right? Again, we'll have to find ways to take some stress off the body somewhere in order to do that. So we do need to look at that. Again, that is a little bit of an extra stressor, so we need to be smart about it. Again, this is going to get your body to be even better at utilizing fat as fuel there, which again is a huge issue for a lot of people in general. So again, if we can get one session per week that's fasted, it could definitely help there. All right, so number 2 tip is going to be more movement. So more NEAT in general, right? So NEAT's usually going to drop in a deficit, and it's mostly subconscious, right? So yes, so if you don't track your steps, you may find that your steps go from like 8,000 to 6,000. Again, if you don't track it and you see it go down, right? A lot of people do track, so they keep it up, so that doesn't happen. But again, it is more subconscious. So again, you'll fidget less, you'll blink less, you may talk less, like you may be slower in terms of how you think. So these are things that can happen that again, you don't, and you just have less energy to want to go and do extra little bits of movement that maybe you otherwise would have done, right? So again, it's not necessarily that steps decrease, it's that the subconscious NEAT decreases. So what we can do here is we can track steps and maintain what we have, or if time allows for it, we could slightly increase to potentially make up for some of that subconscious NEAT that drops. And again, by doing this, this is going to maintain how many calories we're burning throughout a day, right? Or potentially even slightly increase it if we increase our movement. But again, we have to make sure that time allows for it. If it doesn't, we have to do other things to work around that there. But again, this will increase your energy expenditure, again, giving you more flexibility from a movement perspective or from a food perspective, right? And you're just expending more calories, which is going to be great there. And again, a high energy flux has been shown to be helpful from a body composition standpoint and to help offset some metabolic adaptations that happen when you're in a deficit. Some next level tips. So again, like definitely just get your movement up in general, but some next level tips are post-meal walks. So again, that's going to help with blood sugar control and regulation, going to help with insulin sensitivity, which is going to help with your body composition, right? So we want to try and get some post-meal walks in. And then ideally, we're spreading our movement throughout the day as well too, right? So again, if you get 8,000 steps per day, ideally you're spreading that out throughout the day versus just getting it all in at one time. Again, this is going to help from a insulin sensitivity standpoint and just blood sugar management aspect if we can spread that movement out throughout the day versus just doing it at one time. Because really, crux of the issue of sedentary is the duration of sedentariness that you have, right? So adding in some exercise snacks can be a nice benefit on there. So try and spread that movement out throughout the day. Next, we need to look at stress load management. So high stress from like training, life, dieting, etc. These are all stressors on the body, or again, maybe you have other form of stressors on the body, poor circadian rhythm or poor circadian health, poor sleep, whatever it is. These can stall fat loss, right? Because our stress bucket's full. Like your body's not going to be in a good state to want to adapt and to lose body fat when it senses that the overall stress level on the body is super high, right? But this is also going to increase cravings and hunger, and it's going to lower willpower and motivation, right? When we have less willpower, we're less likely to do the things that we need to do to stay on track. Lower motivation, again, we're less likely to do the things. We're more likely to give in there, right? And if we have the subconscious increase in cravings and hunger and a drive to eat more tasty food, it's going to be easier to overconsume calories. So again, not only by lowering our stress load on our body, are we putting our body in a better state to be able to adapt and to want to lose body fat, but also it's going to help with over-consuming calories as well too, right? So we need to make sure we schedule recovery and downtime, and we need to find some time to slow down and not just go, right? Just pushing harder, doing more workouts, trying to burn more calories in those workouts and slashing calories isn't the answer if stress is maxed out, right? If your stress level on the body is super high, you're just going to continue to dig yourself into a deeper recovery hole here, which is going to feel like you're really fighting an uphill battle here with fat loss. So we have to manage overall stress level on the body. And again, some of these things go into it as well too, right? Some of these things I'm about to go over will also help with that, right? So as I said, or sleep, I don't have sleep on here specifically, but you could put this in stress load management, because obviously if we get worse sleep, That's going to drive a higher stress load on the body there. All right, so number 4 is dialing in meal timing. So meal time, so again, calories in, calories out is still priority number 1. Energy balance is number 1, but timing can impact how well your body uses calories, right? How effective it is. So ideally, we're getting more food earlier in the day and less food closer to bed. So if we can start to partition more of our food earlier in the day, you're probably going to be better from a blood sugar management, insulin sensitivity standpoint, and from a digestion standpoint as well too. Things are going to be much better as well too. Our body just doesn't utilize, it doesn't, digestion's just not as efficient later in the day, especially as you get closer and closer to bed. And then also that's the closer you eat to bed, the more that's going to impact your sleep as well too, which we talked about. That's just a higher stress load on the body. Try and get more food around your workouts and activity in general. So again, more around your workouts and just get more movement around your food intake. And then you could use a time restricted eating approach. I don't think you need to go drastic with this, but I think like a 12-12 or 14-10 approach is just perfect. Giving your body some break in terms of from a digestion standpoint, but then also again from a blood sugar management, I think this can be super helpful. So having some time where you do not eat throughout the entire day, but I wouldn't go much longer than this. I think if we go any longer than this, it's just going to be challenging, and then it's going to be hard to get enough protein. Training performance is going to suffer. It could be more stress on the body because, it could lead to that point as well. So I wouldn't necessarily go much longer than this, but definitely giving some time where you're not consuming food. So again, a good rule of thumb would be like maybe you go 14-10 approach where you don't eat for 14 hours, you eat for 10. Maybe that's an 8-6 approach, right? I think that's perfect there. Number 5, we can use strategic maintenance calorie days. So 1 to 2 days at maintenance per week can reduce stress on the body and can improve training performance, right? So if we're always pushing a deficit, when you're just consistently pushing that and things are slowing down, adding in either 1 to 2 maintenance days or even a 1 to 2 week diet break can be super helpful, but we need to make sure we're at maintenance calories, right? It can be easy to overeat on that there. So we can use them proactively where we have them scheduled in ahead of time, or we do it on a weekly basis, or we do it when fatigue creeps in, right? And then carbs are especially helpful for restoring glycogen and lifting quality and just for recovery in general, right? So if we're going to make those increases on those days, probably mostly via carbohydrates. And again, we're looking at good, smart carbohydrate choices as well too. So again, we could use these days to take some stress off of the body. Because again, dieting is a stressor on the body. And if we're also having all these other stressors, this can help take some stress off the body there, which we talked about that being a key thing. Number 6 is going to be gut health. Like we really need to pay attention to this during a fat loss phase. Poor gut health, so like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, irregularity, things like that can stall fat loss, right? Again, there's a sign that something is off somewhere, and this can be a thing that really does, because again, poor gut health is a stressor on the body. So again, it comes back to the stress management side of things there. Some gut health basics to really make sure you maximize gut health is manage stress. So again, not only is gut health a stressor on the body, but we also need to manage stress, right? So again, managing stress would be managing stress on the body there. Slow down and chew your food thoroughly. And then when you do eat, try and eat it in a relaxed state as well too, not hey, you're doing a bunch of other things with it. Stay hydrated. That's going to be key as well too. Dehydration will definitely impact gut health. Reduce alcohol intake and really any gut irritating things as well too. Again, if you have anything specific like that, we may want to look at reducing that. Hit your fiber needs. So we don't necessarily need to have 100 grams of fiber per day. Get enough fiber in, like probably somewhere between 25 and 30 grams is a solid number to aim for and to get to per day. And then again, post-meal walks can aid digestion as well too. So getting some movement in afterwards can help with managing your gut health there. And then number 7 is going to be increasing your food quality and micronutrients, right? So we want to improve our diet quality with more things like fruits, veggies, and just unprocessed foods. You don't necessarily have to only have unprocessed food, but having more unprocessed food is going to be helpful, right? Higher quality diets, again, just less ultra processed food, tend to lead to larger weight loss when compared to higher ultra processed food intake there, right? That's been shown in the Kevin Hall study. And then there was another one where they looked at a high versus low quality diet for 12 weeks, and then a higher quality diet lost more weight there again, probably from, again, more satiety. You're getting in the vitamins and minerals that you need. You're probably getting enough protein, right? So all these things are going to help with that. But interestingly, fiber does tend to lead to a little bit less digestive. Like you're not going to absorb as many calories when our fiber intake is a bit higher there. So again, if we're hitting this 30 to 50 grams, you could potentially get yourself to consume maybe 100-ish on average calories per day there. Again, potentially. So again, a higher fiber diet can help you with that from that perspective. But also missing vitamins and minerals can keep your body really from firing on all cylinders. If we're missing out on these important vitamins and minerals, there's probably something in your body that is not being optimized, that could be impacting body composition and just energy balance, whatever it may be. So again, we want to make sure we're getting in plenty of vitamins and minerals in this. So again, fill common gaps. Vitamin D, magnesium, fish oil, using a quality multivitamin can be super helpful there. So those are some things that you can add in to kind of help with stubborn fat loss. So my final thought on this is some people do need to lower calories than they expect to get leaner, and you ultimately have the choice to do that. But I think these levers can be dialed in first before we just automatically go to, hey, I haven't lost weight in 2 weeks. I need to drop things. Like, look, start to add in some of these things. I think these can start to make a difference, right? And maybe you get to the next level side of things, right? And so again, there's usually some wiggle room before just slashing calories further there. So that's it for this episode. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this helps you potentially bust through any fat loss plateaus that you may have. Let me know if you guys have any questions on this. If you found this podcast to be helpful in any way, if you could leave a rating and review, that will help more people find it. Also, I have some exciting news coming later this week, so definitely be on the lookout there. It should come out Friday, so definitely make sure you check that out then. And that's it for this episode. I'll chat with you guys soon.